So today, we're playing a Reaper, and we have an unhealing debuffing build. With a touch of Frostbite for some added fun. We'll be stacking up debuffs with our Amulets of Darkness, while we heal and deal damage with our Frostbite and our Staff of Unhealing. But hey, check it out, and let me know what you think of it. Okie dokie, let's go and jump some rank games with a random character to see when we're going to get to. So it looks like we're playing the Reaper. We do start off with an Amulet of Alchemy, which is kind of interesting. Chipped Ruby 2. So we'll see what we can do. We're going to start off by grabbing the pocket guns. We're going to be grabbing a wooden sword. I will roll, however. I do want to grab a broom too. And we're going to grab this whetstone too. Now, I do not want to craft up Shepherd's Crook. I do want to keep our broom available to craft up a staff, potentially. But we'll see. We are going to begin a Vineway Basket Ranger who's going to have tons and tons of healing. With healing herbs. Well, lucky for us, they don't have a lot of nature items inside their Vineway Basket, so they would have a lot more healing efficiency if they had their stones and their pockets on them. I say lucky for us, they're actually still winning out. So unfortunately, we do end up falling short. That regen being just a little bit too much, especially with that wooden buckler eating up all our stamina. And unfortunately, that fatigue manages to get us. Just pausing the video here very quickly, just to ask you to subscribe. It really helps me out. Thanks. Now let's get back to the video. So we're going to grab a storage. We're going to grab our big old banana. Let's grab a stone and let's just move on for now. We should actually do this. And let's go. Now we should be in a little bit of a better space by grabbing a banana. We are going to be getting another wooden buckler, which is not great, but our stamina should be much, much better. We're going to begin a torch Reaper, who's going to have a little bit of scaling damage, but as long as we inflict that blinds, we should be in a decent enough spot to win out. Now they're surviving on such low HP for so long, but awesome overall. Now that's a stone bench we could take. I'm down to take it. We're going to grab a lump of coal. We could craft a torch. Don't exactly want to, and we're going to roll for now also. I'm going to take out our stone. And we might actually want to upgrade to double broom instead of going for a hero sword potentially. So I'm going to reserve it. We're going to move on with the setup, and we should be in a much, much better spot, especially with the stone badge. We should be able to get a little bit of block. So all in all, it shouldn't be too bad. And we got lucky facing his opponents who has their whetstones not targeting their other sword. So we should be able to outpace them. As long as we keep inflicting blinds, it should be smashing. And awesome. Now we do have the Amulets of Alchemy, and I do want to go heavy drinking since we have the Amulet of Alchemy. So I'm going to be grabbing it. We're going to be grabbing the storage. I do want to corrupt the crystal. That is going to be fantastic for us. However, we're going to sell our sword. We're going to grab our broom for now. We're also going to want to set the healing herbs. And we are going to move on once again. But taking this skill and having no potions is not great. We're setting up for the future. But we'll see. Our opponent is Rock and Pandemonium with a torch. They're going to have a lot of damage. They're going to be inflicting a good bit of poison too. And they might outpace us. And yeah, unfortunately, that battle rage making them survive for a little bit too long. Let's grab a corrupted crystal. Let's roll. I'm going to reserve the storage, and I'm going to wait another round, and then we might actually end up selling our stone badge. However, we'll see. We are going to begin a guard power hunger blade, which means we're going to be stacking up a crazy amount of vampirism, which is not great for us. They're also going to get summon power, which does increase their weapon damage, and they're going to have a lot of weapon damage between the spear and hunger blade. However, looking smashing. We managed to pull ahead. Not too bad. We're going to grab our storage. We're going to grab this undead flamelet, which is the Amulet of Darkness, which is going to be smashing. We definitely want to go for Staff on Healing, which means we do need to sell this in order to find some Reaper specific items, so mainly the Demonic Flask. But for now, let's roll. And we could craft up snow sticks, but we really do need the health pot for sure. So for now, I'm just going to be moving on, and we'll see how this goes. So now at least we're making use of this actual skill, giving us some healing. And once you craft up a strong health pot, we should be in a pretty darn good spot. We definitely want to go for an amulet or a staff on healing since we have our Amulet of Darkness, because this works with effect damage. And on healing damage is effect damage, which is going to be straight up nuts. But we'll see, our opponent does have the Smelly Wall. They're going to have a lot of block. They also have the Amulet of Feasting, which is going to be triggering their food items much, much faster. So we could be in a little bit of trouble. The good news is, our health pot should be able to cleanse any poison that our opponent does stack up. The bad news is we have used our health pot, and we're just going to fall a little bit too short. No, actually, I have to eat more words. We actually end up passing them out, which is actually amazing for sure. And that's a poison flask on sale, which call me crazy. I'm not going to be grabbing. And we definitely want gooberts. That's also a recombobulator on sale for 3. That's also a lightsaber. We could go for a light goobert. So we're going to sell our 3 stones for now. We're going to sell this flame. We're going to grab this bit of storage. We're also going to grab a goobert too. So for now, we're going to move on with this sort of situation. And we'll see how this goes. For now, we should have tons and tons of healing with our gooberts. We do want to craft up that light gooberts, which should be awesome. Now, we could actually just use the lightsaber since our heavy drinking is going to supply a lot of regen. So all in all, it shouldn't be too bad. We could actually be inflicting a turbo amount of blind, but our opponent does have a lot of flat damage with that hero longsword. That broom, they're stacking up a lot of spikes too. But as long as we keep inflicting blind, decrease our opponent's accuracy, if they can't hit us, they can't deal damage to us. So our health pot should be able to keep us healthy enough to out-survive opponents and smash them. So out of all these options, I'm thinking I'm going to go for Cauldron today. Because I do want to find multiple of these. But for now, we're going to be selling this. We're going to be taking this. We're going to be crafting up the light gooberts. We're also going to want this toad. But for now, we're going to be moving on. And we'll see. Our opponent is looking kind of crazy. They managed to get 3 mana orbs, which is straight up absurd. For sure. We've inflicted a lot of blinds. Blind doesn't matter going up against opponent because they're going to have all that accuracy. But smash. We just have a ton of healing. And not too bad overall. But we definitely want to grab one of these demonic flasks. We can't really afford to grab Toad unless we sell you. Let's grab our Toad now, and I'm going to roll. Now, unfortunately, we do need to find as much of these unidentified amulets as possible. We're also going to need a set of blueberries. We're also going to need this potion belt. And unfortunately, we are going to move on. So we're a little bit behind in the items that we do want to get. We do need to find 1 mana orb. Our opponent managed to find 3. This opponent only has 1. We can't even find 1, which is a little less than ideal. Our opponent is going to have a lot of damage and a lot of regen with their guard power. But as long as we're inflicting that blind, we should be in a pretty decent spot, even though they do have 7 luck. So unfortunately, we can't really keep them blinded. However, our health pot is keeping us alive along with a Cauldron. So we might be able to out-fatigue him actually. I say out-fatigue him. It's been super close. And unfortunately, we do end up falling short after all. Which is a little less than ideal. I'm going to be grabbing Dark Ritual because I do want to be inflicting a turbo amount of debuffs. We're going to grab this, which is Amulets on Vials, which is a little less than ideal. We could keep it, but I'm going to sell it. Grab our blueberries. Let's roll. And let's roll again. But for now, I'm going to move on. And I'm going to roll quite heavily in the next shop looking for a mana orb. Because if we don't find that mana orb, we're going to be in a little bit of a rough spot. We have very little damage. We also want to find a Hunger Blade potentially, so we can actually stack up a lot of Vampirism too. Also, our opponent does have a crazier looking Vampiric setup, especially with a strong Vampiric potion. As long as we keep inflicting a turbo amount of blind, we should be in a pretty good spot because our opponent doesn't have much luck, meaning they have 0% accuracy and if they can't hit us, they can't heal either. So all in all, shouldn't be too bad and we should potentially be able to outpace them. We stacked up quite a lot of buffs and overall smashing. Really fantastic. We're going to grab a stamina sack, we're going to roll. We finally got a mana orb. That's awesome for sure. I'm going to keep rolling for now. So I'm going to corrupt crystal, which we could take, but I'm going to leave for now. But I'm going to reserve this potion bolts. And we'll reserve another potion too. We could reserve this blueberries and we could craft up potentially a mana pot if we want to. Obviously, our opponent does have big old Busted Blade with a katana, which will be removing some of our buffs and our scaling damage. And this big old Busted Blade is going to be dealing crazy damage. As long as we inflict that blind, our opponent might not be able to hit us with that big old Busted Blade. So all in all, it shouldn't be too bad. They're after dealing quite a bit of damage, but can we heal back up? As long as they don't hit us again. We got very lucky. They got an Outstammer proc, so they have to wait again for that big old Busted Blade. We're back to full HP. And so far, looking like we're going to outpace this opponent for sure. And honestly, We're stacking up a crazy amount of blinds with just 2 brooms and that gooberts. And an Amulet of Darkness too. Now we did move our amulets in, but our broom did activate a lot more, so we may actually want 2 places back to where we had it. Now we're going to be crafting up that staff on healing. We're going to be grabbing this too. Now we could keep our healing herbs, so we're going to grab our set of blueberries. We're going to roll again. Now we could take the prismatic orb, or we could take the deck of cards looking for increased healing efficiency, or a hollow fire lizard. Highly, I'm going to be taking this. Definitely want the lover's card because that is going to increase our healing efficiency. And for now, I'm going to move on. But we'll see. We definitely want to be crafting up some strong demonic flasks as well. But our opponent is going to have a crazy looking setup with a crit wood and a fancy fencing rapier, which is going to be dealing a lot of damage, going to be cleansing a lot of debuffs. And we do end up falling short because our opponent just had a ton of value right there and then. We do got our staff on healing, which should be pretty decent overall. We're going to be grabbing our lover's card, we're going to be grabbing another potion pulse. We're going to be rolling for now, and we do have to take another unidentified amulet, which is Amulet of Energy, which is actually straight up pretty darn good for us. But for now, I'm going to rock on once again. So that means that when our health pots actually do proc, we should be able to deal damage with that staff on healing. The problem is we do need a certain amount of mana to actually trigger. And it is taking us quite some time to actually get our mana online, but once we do get it online, any bit of healing that we do get is going to be inflicted as damage. And it's also going to be stacking up a bunch of debuffs. So the Amulet of Darkness with the staff on healing is just straight up absurd for sure. Now our Amulet of Darkness is actually triggering crazy. So we do want to place it on our goobert for sure. But let's keep rolling for now. We definitely want to grab Demonic Flask. That is a Prismatic Orb. On sale, we're going to have to grab. For sure too. So we're going to sell one of these. We're going to grab this too. And we're just going to move on with this sort of situation for now. Crafting up a strong Demonic Flask is going to be insanely valuable to us, for sure. But we managed to get our mana pretty darn fast this time. So all in all, it shouldn't be too bad. Now our opponent is going to have Staff Fire, which is going to be a lot of damage. So we could be in a lot of trouble. And our opponent is going to resurrect with a Dark Lantern. We do get down vulnerability, but look at the amount of debuffs we've stacked up already. And this is with just one Amulet of Darkness. And smashing. Awesome even. And we actually end up with a 53 DPS. Which is awesome. Heal 48, not so great. We could definitely increase that for sure. And block non-existence. But let's see if we can actually make this crazier. The one way to make this crazier is actually adding in a dragon. We're just going to grab the storage. We're going to grab a dragon. We're going to roll once. That's a freaking Hunger Blade, which we do desperately, desperately want. To the point where we're going to sell a broom. We're going to sell this blind too. And we're going to take a Hunger Blade. Now we did change our whole set of brown to be more like this, which should be much, much better overall. You have both our strong health pots targeting our Demonic Flask, which should be pretty decent. And yeah, we're just going to move on. But we'll see. We do have our Prismatic Orb here, giving us 6 mana and some debuffs from the very beginning, so all in all it shouldn't be too bad. And as long as we're able to turbo stack a crazy absurd amount of debuffs, we should have no problem actually winning now. Even though our opponent did stack up a lot of luck, they still had a 0% accuracy. Which is definitely absurd for sure. We did actually get one of the new uniques, Snow Cake. Inflict 1 snow if your opponent has at least 10 snow, inflict effect damage by 10% and deal 10%. Or deal 10 effect damage. We do get a mana orb, we could craft up a mana thirst. We could also go for a Frostbite. We definitely want to grab Hollow Fire Lizard because that's going to increase our effect damage. We're going to take this, we're going to be crafting up Frostbite. Now, unfortunately, I think we might actually have to leave Snowcake. Who am I kidding? We're going to be taking Snowcake. But I'm going to reserve the mana orb too, and we're going to move on once again. Now we'll see, we are going to begin a big old Busted Blade. They do have 12 luck, which means they're going to have a lot of accuracy. So we could be in a little bit of trouble. They're going to have 45% crit chance, and after dealing quite a bit of damage, and yeah, big old Busted Blade is big old Busted Blade. They had so much healing reduction too, so our opponent did counters with a Divine Potion too. So unfortunately, there's not much we could have actually done against that opponent. But hey, we did get a Ruby Belt, which is going to be smashing for sure because this is going to be effect damage. We're going to be grabbing this Fanny Pack. Now we're going to take Snowcake in the final round. So I might actually leave off the Mana Orb. We're going to grab a Hollow Fire Lizard. Let's actually grab it for now and roll. Roll again. We are going to need this bit of storage. I'm actually going to sell our regen so we can actually grab this fanny pack also. So we could take out our banana for now, and we could add in our snow cake. Or we could have our banana in. Or we could have in more Hollow Fire Lizard for more effect damage. And a banana. But I think we're going to rock on with this sort of situation for now. But we'll see. Is this going to be good enough? Can we take on this big potion explosion? Double Amulet of Darkness, which they're going to be inflicting a turbo amount of debuffs on us. For sure. But so far, actually, we could be in lots and lots of trouble. And it's super close, but smashed. We barely pulled ahead. 2 Amulets of Darkness is straight up nuts for sure. Straight up nuts for sure, and especially with 2 strong Divine Potions cleansing a lot of our debuffs. However, we did get a Ruby Chunk, which is going to be amazing for us for sure. We're going to roll for now. We definitely want to grab as much Hollow Fire Lizard as possible. We're going to keep rolling. That's in our freaking Toad. I'm going to grab this bit of storage. Prismatic Orb. I'm going to be leaving for now. We're also going to grab this bit of storage too. And this is it. This is going to be final setup. A super awesome, fun Amulet of Darkness, Dark Ritual, Cauldron type builds. Now, Dark Ritual might not have been the best play. It does inflict a turbo amount of debuffs after 17 seconds. It is reduced quite a bit with the amount of dark items we do have. But hey, we did change the setup around just a tiny bit so we can get 6 mana from the very beginning. 6 mana, so we can actually proc our stuff on healing from the very beginning. That's definitely going to be worth it. But we'll see. Is this going to be good enough? Are we going to fall short? Can we win out? We are going to begin a King Goobert's Piercing Arrow, Falcon Blade, who's going to be stealing our buffs. But as long as we turbo inflict a bunch of debuffs like crazy, perma blinding them, inflicting a crazy amount of frost, getting tons and tons of effect damage, we should be in a pretty good spot. Now, they did get invulnerability again, which is a little less than ideal. Invulnerability again, King Goobert does provide quite a bit of invulnerability, but smash it. As soon as that invulnerability ends, it's just over for sure. Now, we do end up with a 54 DPS, which is not too bad. A 54 healing per second, which definitely could be increased for sure. But the utility comes in the amount of debuffs we actually did stack, because of 43 frost means this Falcon Blade has a 2.3 second cooldown. We can also come here, check our activations, and see what items are going to be best for our Goobert. As you can see, that Amulet of Darkness placed in here had 21 activations for our light Gooberts. Then a Frostbite, so we should have had a Frostbite, and a Ruby Chunk, maybe on our light Gooberts. So all in all, a super fantastic and fun build overall. We did survive with 2 lives left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we actually managed to get. Plus 10 ranks up quite a bit actually. But anyways, I'm going to leave here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. See you next time.